Welcome to Different Look. I'm Maniko Barthelemy. When it comes to parenting, there are things fathers see in their sons that can feel like a walking mirror, often sharing the same name, personality, and in many families, fathers and sons love the same sport. Prince George's County Department of Corrections Officer Cedric L. Gamble and his son Cedric M. Gamble, seen here in family photos, know a lot about each other, perhaps more than the average father and son, because they spend a lot of time working together in perhaps the most dangerous career field. But what pulls a son directly into his father's footsteps? Today on Different Look, the Gamble team joins us to tell us all about it. Thanks for joining us, Cedric and Cedric.
Thanks for having us.
Cedric, tell us, well, Cedric Sr.,
Yes.
right? Tell us what's it like to have your son following in your footsteps.
Well, it actually makes me very, very proud to have him follow my footsteps. I didn't know that he actually wanted to do this. However, I try to teach him, everything I could about, life and how to treat people and things of that nature. So I guess looking at me, he decided he wanted to come into corrections. But it's a very, very proud feeling.
And why did you want to follow in your father's footsteps? A lot of kids grow up and they watch their parents and go, I'm not going to be anything like him when I get older.
Well, growing up, when I was younger, I used to see him work so hard, and it inspired me to work just as hard as he did, because, providing for the family, my mother, my sister, it made me have a good feeling of accomplishment of coming into corrections. So when I entered this field, I was a little nervous about it, but after, the training and going into the jail, it actually took a burden off my shoulders.
And what are some of the things you did with him as he was growing up that kind of helped create and help you all maintain a healthy bond?
Well, growing up, we always did, family things. I always went on family trips. I'm an outdoors person. My father's an outdoors person, and we like to spend a lot of time together as far as, hunting, fishing, and things like that. And we just share conversations when we do that.
Okay. What are some of the growing pains you kind of felt like when you were growing up, your father kind of understood, or was there that one thing you felt like you could go to him and talk to him about?
For the most part, I felt like anything I had a problem with or anything I wanted to talk to him about, I can go and talk to him. He was more of a, outdoorsman. I like to do a lot of things like that, sports and hunting with him. I was more of a, modern tech head, like the video games and computers. But as far as bonding, I had no problem going out there, fixing things with him, going hunting, fishing when I had the chance, and going on vacation, spending time with him.
What piqued your interest in the law enforcement career field? Did you come from a family where your father and your grandfather served in law enforcement?
Well, my family basically was a military family. My father's in the military, my brother. It was just something about the esprit de corps and the wearing of the uniform and just serving, which attracted me to law enforcement.
And do you all work the same shift?
No, we don't work the same shift,
Yes.
which works out pretty good.
Why?
Well, I kind of like to see him do his own thing. I don't want to stand there and look over his shoulders and just kind of be nervous about him working. So he works like the evening shift, and it kind of works out real good.
Do you feel like it's harder for you working there since you are his son? You feel like the expectations are higher?
In some expectations, yes.
Remember, you have to leave with him when the show is over. So.
Well, to be fair, there's some of my supervisors, have a thing where they look to me and expect me to be just like my father. And like I tell everybody, I'm his son. There's some things it's going to be the similar to, but there's going to be something that's different because everyone's built differently. So there's going to be things that I do different that he might not do, but I still do the best job possible.
So give me an example.
Well, just he was on ERT, emergency response team.
Thank you.
For a while, yeah. And everyone's asking me, what am I going to be on the emergency response team? And I told them, well, when I get to that point, I'll be on it, whether I want to do it because of him or I want to do it because of myself. I'm not going to do everything because that he did it, because I might not be the best at what he did.
Do you find yourself supervising some of the things that he does on the job, or you kind of just let him create his own space?
I really like to try to let him create his own space. If I see things that he may need some advice in, I would always pull him to the side. We have a good relationship where if he runs into a problem, at work, he'll come home and tell me, Dad, this happened or whatever, and I can give him some advice, about what he should do. So I just kind of give him his free reign.
What was your mother's reaction to you saying you wanted to be a corrections officer? And then what was your mother's reaction when you said the same thing?
Well, my mom was absolutely horrified. She never wanted any of her children to go into law enforcement or the military for that matter. However, once I started the career and she saw how I was progressing and how I related to everyone there, she felt a lot better.
Well, it's the similar feeling. My mother, she actually was a little nervous me going into corrections. She didn't know what to expect. She didn't know if they were going to push me hard because of my father's name. She didn't know whether I had the personality to go into that type of field. But after the course of months going in, then almost a year, she got a more relaxing feeling that I can do this now.
And what's it like for you to look at him, think about the days where he was a baby, now he's grown into a full-grown man. What do you see in him, or did you see in him growing up that made you go, yeah, that's my boy?
Again, like his mom, I was a little nervous for him to come into corrections. However, as he progressed on and went through the academy, I could see growth in him, and that kind of made me very proud, to see him kind of develop into a man and take on the job and go full force.
Okay, so you have the same name, you're wearing the same uniform. Well, he's since been promoted, but you're in the same career field. What did you see in your father that made you want to emulate that and things that you feel you'll practice when you have children?
The compassion that he has for his fellow officers, the the growth, the strength of pretty much handling that type of stress, and pretty much just everything about my dad, I just looked at and said, you know what, I admire everything that he does for the job and as well as for the family.
And tell him something that you haven't told him about growing up that you felt, now is the time on Different Look, you want to say.
Well, it's not much I can say, but just I love my dad, and I wouldn't trade him for anybody else.
And what are you going to get him for Father's Day?
That's a secret, I can't tell you that.
What'd you get him last year?
Well, as a joke.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking he didn't think it was funny.
A grilled cheese maker for a joke, as a joke. But I redeemed myself, got him some new colognes, something nice. This year's gonna be a little bit bigger than cologne. And I might need to get your truck ready.
And a grilled cheese maker.
I do a lot of cooking, so that's why he got the chip.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you both for joining us, and of course, happy Father's Day to you.